Welcome into another edition of Locked On Eagles Squad podcast. Marc Farzetta, Jason Martinez, Harry Mays with you. They have arrived at camp. They are practicing at camp, and everybody's talking. And leave it to Vic Fangio to be the man that says, everybody calm down with your player comps. We'll get into that and mindset and so much more with this edition of Locked On Eagles Squad podcast.
Why Eagles Fly? It's the Eagles Squad, sponsored by Gametime. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week, covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love, the way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad show starting now.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It's nice to have you along for the ride, especially when the Philadelphia Eagles are at camp. And not only have they reported, Jason, I thought of you yesterday, actually 2 days ago when we wrapped our Tuesday show. Harry, I was thinking of our good friend Jason Martinez here when it was literally the first day at school pictures and the content crew of the Philadelphia Eagles is capturing everybody, go up to the NovaCare complex, be like, oh, here we go, first day, all that stuff. And I'm like, wait, this is literally all they're doing today. There's going to be no practice. There's going to be nothing other than, is everybody here? It's the first day of high school. You just learn where your classes are, but you really don't learn anything other than that. And that's what they went through on Tuesday. But now there has been a practice. There have been two practices. There have been a bevy of press conferences. And we're going to get into a lot of that stuff right out of the gate here. But first, I want to ask you guys this. And Jason, I'll ask you this first. What was, in your mind, what was the best part of yesterday? If you had to pick one thing from yesterday, and Harry, I'll ask you the same question. Was there something that stuck out to you that just went, okay, all right, that's interesting. That's a little bit of an eyebrow raise. What was it?
Not really anything on the field. For me, it's overarching. It's that they are reassembled, and that we are now 42 days away from the Eagles taking on the Dallas Cowboys. And yeah, I saw the video and guys arriving with their brand new shoes. They're all white because at the beginning of the year, your mom wouldn't let you wear the new shoes till school started. And you get your brand new undented Harry Scooby-Doo lunchbox and thermos for the first day of school.
Oh my God.
You're all set and you're walking. Your clothes have never had a wrinkle because they're brand new. So everybody's walking in. But to me, I just get excited about this part just because it just means it's a harbinger of what's right around the corner. And while I saw Harry said the one tweet that Elliott Shore-Parks had about Cooper DeJean playing safety on day one.
Yeah,
probably that sticks out to me the most. Because we're wondering, okay, how are they going to utilize this Swiss Army knife? And is that an indictment on somebody else? So
both.
I don't know that you can have an indictment already.
It's
though,
both.
Harry.
Oh,
Nobody's
yeah.
committed a crime yet. I mean,
that
they
Vic
want a
Fangio,
crime on day one, Harry?
Vic Fangio has an idea already about what he's got. And
but wouldn't you want to look at other people there first?
Well, they will, but I'm just saying what I took from it was that this guy in DeJean is so gifted and has such great football instincts that they can put him in so many different places just in case some of these other guys that are supposed to maybe play that position aren't measuring up. And he's already got it in his head. Like you're starting from maybe a rung or two down the ladder with him if you're some of these other guys. And watch out, because now I know this guy can play the position. That's what I took from it.
I think Vic Fangio believes, wait till you see what I'm going to do with you, kid.
Well, yeah, that too.
Animal all over, and nobody's going to know where you are, where you're going, and I think he looks at him and goes, this kid's an absolute gem.
Yeah.
People still don't even know what he is capable of. He just scratched the surface.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Starting out day one at safety with the ones, that was the most surprising thing about yesterday. Yeah. And I'm not going to say I was disappointed at all, but that's not hey, let's test the waters and see how you do with the safety. No. That's okay. You're going to be my safety. I'm going to use you as much as possible on the field in the three positions that I know you can play. But safety is where you're going to get your feet wet immediately because I have intentions here. Mm-hmm. Not just test it out a little bit. No, I have intention. He is honestly looking at Cooper DeJean as if he is the guy that is going to be the playmaker at three different positions on his defense. He is looking at him like he is this tool in the shed that could just about do everything you need him to do. And
utility shed?
Hell yeah.
Multiple utility shed. Yep.
Multiple utility, multiple shelves, everything. And he's looking at him going, all right, Drew Makuba is going to be nice, but I also know he could probably play the nickel position as well. But whatever excuse I can roll out there to get Cooper DeJean on the field more, I'm going to do it. And indictment on day one, hell yeah. On two things. One, what Vic Fangio is thinking and what his intentions are with Cooper DeJean. And the other is that, like, Drew Makuba has got to climb himself up the ladder in order to get more reps. And you can tell that, yes, from day one.
Yeah.
I think the thing is too is I think they look at DeJean and they drafted him. Obviously, they liked him and they had him all last year. They saw how coachable he was, how he is as a guy in that locker room. And I think they look at him and they go, this guy is going to be a linchpin of this team for the next decade. He's going to be one of those guys that Eagle fans are going to talk about and long after when he's done, where he's just a consequential player. And his disposition, the way he acts, the way he carries himself, all of that stuff goes into it. And I think what they're going to do with him, put it this way. If you're looking to get a new Eagles jersey, Cooper DeJean jersey is a very good bet.
Yeah.
It's a very good bet.
Yeah. That's a good investment.
Yes,
right,
that is a sound investment.
Yeah.
Yep. The investment firm of Farzetta, Martinez, and Mays has put that on our best buy list of a great investment with a bullet.
Yeah. We're buying ad content actually on Locked
yes.
On. We're gonna represent ourselves. Yes. Harry, what jumped out to you yesterday?
Terrace Marshall cooking your boy Keely Ringo for a touchdown in practice. When I saw that, I'm like, yeah. Because I want Terrace Marshall to make the team. Okay,
right.
That's number one. And number two, enough with this, anointing Keely Ringo like cornerback number 2. Okay, let's pump the brakes on old Keely. All right.
I thought of you yesterday when the Terrace Marshall thing came out because when the Terrace Marshall thing came out, it was AJ Brown that was like, oh man, he's going to make the wide receiver room uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Harry, okay, two things I thought of you gentlemen for. One, Jason, I apologize. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Wearing the shirt the other day. All right?
Hulk Hogan died today, too.
I'm sorry, what?
Hulk Hogan died today. Yeah.
I did not. I didn't know.
I just saw it.
I did. The Sixers, Locked On Sixers, ran to the library to take my daughter to a reading lesson as we're getting her ready for first grade, And then I came here to do the podcast. I did not get any alert about Hulk Hogan. That's terrible.
Yeah. How old was he?
70. Ozzy was 76. Hulk Hogan was 71.
71.
Wow.
Okay.
What is this? 2020? What's going on here?
Yeah.
That's oh man, that really.
Let me tell you, Mean Gene.
Oh man, that's upsetting. Oh man, I don't know how
huge gut punches. I mean, legendary guys from our youth.
Yeah. Oh man, here I am just thinking I'm teeing up a throwaway line, and then you drop the Hulkster on me.
Yeah. I mean, to lose Ozzy, I'm not a huge wrestling guy, but I know I recognize what Hulk Hogan meant. But
yeah, right.
Geez, I mean, to lose two guys like that in just a couple of days.
Yeah.
I mean, Ozzy was a huge gut punch to me, and you can't go, well, that was unexpected. But it still sucks.
I agree. Now, as I try to wiggle my way out of this one, I thought of you for Ozzy Osbourne, Jason, and Harry. I thought of you when Terrace Marshall got brought up because you want to shake up that wide receiver room. You want Jahan Dotson to rise up the ranks there and have something to fight for. Well, now he's got somebody to motivate him a little bit more.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah, because give me more playmakers. Earn your spot. Go make what better way to make a name for yourself than the first day to go out there and make a big play over a defensive player that a lot of people are thinking is in the starting lineup. Go do it. Mm-hmm. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'll give you mine. And Harry, if you can, try to secure your eyes from the most epic eye roll that you could ever induce here.
Here we go.
Jalen Hurts. Now, here's where some people might label me as a bit of a psycho, but I make predictions about press conferences.
Okay.
And going into Tuesday's press or Wednesday's presser, this is yesterday. Nick Sirianni. I saw Nick Sirianni. I knew he was going to address the media. I was like, here's what I want to hear from Nick. And I said, I want to hear from Nick Sirianni that Jalen Hurts is taking the bull by the horns. He is taking over this offense. You don't have to worry so much about like a Brian Johnson in-house hire, whether or not that's going to work and him calling plays. You don't have to worry about that because, well, Kevin Patullo has been here for a couple of more years now. Jalen Hurts is 2 years older, 2 years more experienced, now a Super Bowl champion, now a Super Bowl MVP. The impact of the offensive coordinator will not be as great as it was 3 years ago when he went through the Brian Johnson fiasco. So I wanted to hear that Jalen Hurts is going to take that step forward, similar to the way he did when Jason Kelce was no longer his starting center, helping him protections and all that stuff and calling out the defense and all that. He was going to take that on his own shoulders. Jalen Hurts was going to do that. Well, he did that last year, and it worked out pretty damn well. So I want to see if he's going to take on more responsibility as the quarterback of this team and as a guy that is not necessarily going to be Terry Bradshaw calling his own plays, but taking more responsibility in that role. I heard that yesterday, and I didn't hear it from Nick Sirianni. I heard it from Jalen Hurts. Now, when I saw Howie Roseman up there with Nick, I was just like, I don't think the question's going to come. Rarely when Howie's up there does Nick get any questions. Mm-hmm. And I would say it was pretty split yesterday, to address that, which was a little surprising. But then Jalen Hurts takes to the podium, or the table and the microphone.
The dais.
The dais. Can it be a dais if it's only one? Is it just a day? Like, what is that? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I prefer he takes the con.
I'm sorry?
Jalen Hurts has the con.
The con?
The con, like in a sub. Like when Gene Hackman took the con. Controlling the sub.
Wait, is this a Crimson Tide reference?
Yes.
Wow. Not the Alabama Crimson Tide.
No. This is Denzel Washington.
Nice way to make it full circle there. You went Crimson Tide with the Crimson Tide quarterback.
That's exactly right, Harry.
Yeah.
I know. This is mutiny.
We're playing chess, not checkers here on the squad show.
You're dropping first Hulk Hogan, then you build me back up with Crimson Tide references. This is amazing.
I'm on my game, boys.
So Jalen Hurts yesterday says that he's taking the bull, but he gets the question about whether or not the coaching staff, with his experience, now Jalen Hurts' experience, if he's getting consulted more when it comes to scheme and it comes to strategy and a little smattering of play calling there. And Jalen Hurts just kind of went, yeah, that's evolved. And then talked about how in his position, he wants to make sure he's a good field general. He's a great point guard, and he puts everybody in a position to have success. I want that for Jalen Hurts, especially a guy that has been knocked so many different times for not being able to read a defense and all that. Well, he read defenses particularly well last year, especially with his pre-snap reads, and knew what plays to check in and out of. And if you saw big runs by Saquon Barkley, a lot of times that was Jalen going, oh, I know what would be perfect here, and all I have to do is hand it to Saquon. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So for me, I loved hearing that from Jalen Hurts, and right up there with Cooper DeJean playing safety, right there with Terrace Marshall being a menace in the wide receiver room, and right up there even with Jordan Mailata talking about Jalen Hunt like he's Micah Parsons.
I know.
In the best possible way. I loved hearing that from Jalen Hurts. And look, we'll talk plenty about what the mindset of this Philadelphia Eagles team is going to be, but when it came to something that had some, meat to it, something that sent out a kind of, I think, a good message about what this team's goal is going to be going forward with Jalen Hurts as their quarterback and using him more schematically and to help with the game plan as well. That's music to my ears because I think he's ready for that next step forward.
I have to apologize, Mark, because I must have fallen asleep by then because I missed all that.
You missed all the meat on the bone, Harry.
I must have missed that because it was 9 minutes of my life that I will never get back listening to that press conference.
Ambient.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't get an – I honestly – I know we differ on this. Yeah. I can't get enough Jalen Hurts.
Really?
I prefer to read him as opposed to hear him.
Yeah.
Because he is kind of – he's motivating, but I imagine it's very tamped down to the way he is in his locker room when he talks to teammates.
Yeah.
But reading his quotes, like they're perfect. Like that, he's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
It's never about him. He's like Stephon Marbury. He wants to set everybody else up for success, right? Like it's a point.
Stephon Marbury, of all the point guards in the history of basketball,
because he's not Isaiah,
and you come up with that bozo.
Well, he's
Is he still selling sneakers in China for $15 a pair?
But he's not Isaiah. He's not the player like Isaiah was too much about Isaiah.
Yeah.
Right?
You like the Starberry sneakers, do you?
I do.
This is the greatest reference podcast in the history of podcasts, and we're only we're only what 15 minutes in, folks.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning out my pockets and dropping all the names I have in there that's been there for years. I got more.
I feel like I'm listening to Dennis Miller. Like he's just throwing out references that he hopes people will get.
Of craziness.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like the Rhine, if you know what I'm saying, Scooter. You know.
One thing that Mailata said yesterday to get it back on the rails here. Let's get it back to the Eagles.
Yeah.
And this whole notion that they're repeating was a big theme. We're not repeating. We won last year. That was last year. It's its own entity. We're not repeating anything. We're trying to prove ourselves again to try and win again. He says, I don't like hearing we're defending champions. We're not defending nothing. We just won the title, and now we got to go win it again, prove it all over again. And that's the mentality this team's going to have.
Yeah.
And I have a sneaking suspicion, several guys commented in this regard, that this came in the pre-training camp meeting from the head coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he used the term new journey was how he described it.
Not a repeat.
Yeah.
A new journey, a new opportunity. And obviously Hurts was asked why he wasn't wearing the ring. Because that's over.
Yeah.
I've moved past it.
Yeah, I can't. That's bizarro to me.
You're taking a picture with the owner.
Man.
Like,
you just won the Super Bowl. You got this gaudy ring. Just put it on for 5 seconds. Take a picture. Smile. Yeah. How about you laugh? I've never seen the guy laugh.
Well, he got a smile in yesterday.
He did? I must have dozed off.
It was very subtle.
Yeah.
It was more of a smirk, and then we saw teeth. So yes, technically a smile.
Was that when he was asked about being kind of put down in the lists?
Yes. He was asked.
Okay, I was awake then.
He's aware of that, man.
Yeah.
That's a huge motivator.
Oh, yeah.
Motivator for him. He'll find a way to use that as fuel. The thing is, too, is, he's so dialed in, like it's almost machine-like.
It is machine-like.
Emotionless. We complained for years about a quarterback that was too smiley.
Yeah.
And trying to be too funny and trying so hard.
Well, that was fake. That was forced fakeness.
Exactly. It wasn't authentic. It was phony.
Right.
Do you feel like Hurts in this demeanor is phony at all?
No, I don't think it's phony.
I think it's just him.
I think that's what he is. But I just wish he would smile every once in a while. Have some fun.
Yeah.
Show me you're having fun a little bit. I mean, this is supposed to be fun, right?
He's not going to be doing like those golf specials after he retires with Peyton Manning and yucking it up. He'd be too intense.
Yeah.
I think. If he's competing, yes, I agree. But I will say this: I think Jalen Hurts is going to be a lot of fun when he is done his career. Like, I think that's the moment he's going to look back on this and be like, "Oh, damn! Like, this is what we did." That I think in those moments, like I mean, this is far down the line, obviously, but like I think when it's all said and done, he will bask in the accomplishments that he had in the football world. And I do think there's more to come when it comes to Jalen Hurts as the Eagles quarterback and what he could give this franchise and certainly give this city. But yeah, he did crack a smile when he was asked about other people's lists and what if he uses that as motivation. And he reminded me a lot of when I first realized that, this guy's the real deal in terms of like, you can root for this guy, you can invest in this guy. And I've told you guys before, it was when it was going to be, I think his first year or his second year as a starter in the NFL. And they were asking him about Deshaun Watson rumors and Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson and all that. And he just said, I'm above it all. I'm above it all. And he went out there and he played his ass off and he showed phenomenal improvement from year 1 to year 2. And yesterday was kind of the same thing where he was asked about the list and he just said, yeah, I just focus on getting better and better and being the best possible quarterback that I could be. And I just want to point out Cam Newton for a second here, just as the latest list that's out there.
Yeah.
If Jalen Hurts, which is very possible, Jalen Hurts could play in his 3rd Super Bowl this season. I'm just going to say play in the 3rd Super Bowl of his NFL
26,
career.
Right? He's 26 years old?
26 years old.
Wow.
That will be as many Super Bowl appearances as Cam Newton has winning seasons So I don't really give a damn about what Cam Newton has to say as an NFL analyst. I admire the player, I really do, but as an NFL analyst, I'm good. I think I'm good there. So yeah, he cracked a smile when he was asked about the list. I thought that was really interesting and just said what you would expect him to say. And the thing that I really love about Jalen Hurts is you get the sense that this is the real him.
Yeah.
This is what is genuine. And Harry, I believe me, if I was reading this stuff, if I was watching this, and I would look at Jalen Hurts and just go, yeah, there's no way this guy is for real. And I could see why people would think that, but I really get the sense that he lives it. This is really how he is. And if someone is not, and if someone is not genuine, like, look, we could talk about other quarterbacks that we didn't find were genuine, but I really feel that this is the guy. I'll drop another reference to you guys, a random one. He lives his act. Okay. He absolutely lives his act. And that's why I listen to this guy and I go, this is not just a motivational poster being read aloud. This is truly how this guy goes about his business. And Jason, to your point earlier about, the Super Bowl and not repeating, I absolutely think this came from higher up. I think this came from Nick Sirianni. I think this came from maybe some of the veterans on the team as well. I have heard players after winning a Super Bowl talk about last year is last year. I mean, you talk about cliches. You hear it every year after the Super Bowl. We hear it from Patrick Mahomes. You hear it from everybody. You win the Super Bowl. Last year is last year. This is a new season. But I have never heard a team just dismiss it entirely.
Yeah. This was 6 months ago. Entirely.
We're not even repeating. We're not even defending. We're talking about just winning again. Like if that's a bald man should never say this, but that is absolutely splitting hairs. But whatever you need.
It's like
that's what this Philadelphia Eagles team is focusing on.
Tommy Lee Jones came up with the Men in Black pen and just erased last year from their hard drive of memory, and they got to redo it all over again. But if you want to have success, you cannot live on last year's successes. Right. They mean nothing this year. And even though there's not a ton of turnover, there's some key turnover roster year to year. There always is. And obviously there's turnover in the coaching staff, especially when you're successful. It's all different. There's a different dynamic in that locker room. There's a different level of trust that needs to be rebuilt among
especially on the defensive side.
Yeah. And just overall. And, belief is one of those things that does not travel season to season in pro sports. You capture belief in a season, and it has an end date of the end of your season. And you gain this belief. This team is in that process now. It's just starting of gaining a belief that they can be the team first in their division, second in their conference, and then when they eventually get to the playoffs, be a team that can go on the run they went on last year. But it takes that belief, and it has to build organically through all of it. And he's the guy that is going to be there to remind everybody. And he's a great reminder because he went to a Super Bowl and lost, and he went to a Super Bowl and was an MVP. If you're going to have a guy remind you, that's a great guy to remind the group and bring these guys that weren't a part of it last year into the fold and how they do things and how they accomplish what they did last year, but not living on it.
I thought it was pretty interesting. I didn't think about this, but I learned it yesterday. This team has only 3 players on defense that are 25 years or older.
That's scary.
That's pretty unbelievable.
That's scary. They're very young.
Yeah.
Hurts will be, by the way, he'll be 27 on August 7th. So his birthday's coming up in about 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah. And the other thing I learned was you get better at football by practicing football. That was an all-timer from the head coach.
That was a Sirianni line.
Yeah, that was a Sirianni line.
That's a bit of a throwback line, though, isn't it? Because today a lot of coaches don't really practice.
Yeah. I don't subscribe to hot takes, guys. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it one bit.
But he also
better
says
at guitar by playing guitar.
When he says the word football, he says it like my old buddy Dan Schwartzman said it.
How did
football? It's football. Like FOOP ball. Football.
Wow. Well,
football.
Rap is rap.
Yeah, rap is rap. Hip hop is hip hop.
Rap is rap. Hip hop is hip hop.
Yeah, that was great.
Here you go. I'll tell you this. Here's where I did. Now that you bring up Sirianni, I will tell you where I had my eye roll moment yesterday.
Oh, you had one?
I had. Oh boy, it was Harry Mays-esque. It was Haji's-esque. It was at the end of It was at the end of Howie and Nick, and I forget what the question was, but it was it was a question that kind of like, hey, give us a look behind the scenes of how you two work together. And what it turned into was Howie talking about how great Nick is with Nick sitting right there. And then, of course, then Nick has to respond with how great Howie is.
Yep.
I was like, can someone wake me up in 90 seconds? I don't give a damn about any of this. Like, okay.
Just filleting each other.
Yes, please. Actually, 90 seconds. It's more like 3 full minutes. And I was like, is this over? Is this over? I like put it on speed. I sped the thing up on YouTube just to get through it.
Nick's just such a great partner. And,
I know he's going to do everything he can to put these players in a great position to win. And I got to give him the players to be it. Howie does a great job giving me the players.
We go down there to the SEC. We see guys that would identify with Nick.
Yeah. They got 13 picks in next year's draft. That's another thing I learned from yesterday. That was pretty. I took notes. I took notes from these stupid press
You win the Super Bowl, and like you have a defense with all those guys under 25. Like, it's incredible. Not only how they performed last year, but how they're set up going forward. It really is. It's like, whoa, man, this could be. I mean, already it feels like the greatest era of Eagles history. I don't think there's any in our lives, but geez, I don't think they're even close to done.
I agree. I feel like this team is they just broke out last year. That's what I feel like. And
terrorizing the National Football League fans around the country that are not Eagle fans.
When you win the NFC Championship game in a blowout and then go on to win the Super Bowl against a dynasty-esque team and you win that in a blowout, that kind of sets you up for success in the not-too-distant future. And you have a lot of returning pieces, especially in the offensive side of the football, coming back, and guys on the defensive side of the football that are running things that you absolutely trust. Now, there's one thing I want to get into here with you, gentlemen, and it is some player comps from yesterday. I want to get into all that more when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad podcast on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel.
Well, you know what time of year it is. This time of year, it's time to, you better have started. Get ready for fantasy football. And this episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football, it is back. And fire up the group chat. Get your draft boards ready. Get all your scenarios under control and buckle up for a season filled with breakouts, busts, and all the overactions we live for going down with Yahoo Fantasy. Now, this year, we may have to do an Eagles Squad Show fantasy challenge. We'll do it right on Yahoo Fantasy, and you should too, whether you're a first-timer, and I can't believe you're just finally going to do this for the first time, or a veteran making your millionth league, and hopefully you have some success if you haven't had it so far. And you got to get those draft boards in order. Do all the homework, because you never know who's going to drop, who's going to end up in your lap. And if you got all the research done, you'll be in a great spot. I've used Yahoo Fantasy for years, and they just kind of built it up better and better and better every year for a smooth draft day experience. I remember the old school one, picking players and writing them down and putting them on a board. It's so much easier than that now. And if your league's been running through Yahoo for years now, again, it's easy setup. There's a mobile app, and you can smack talk on the app, message boards. It's all there for you. And to celebrate 28 years of fantasy greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days, giving you more ways to play, more ways to draft, and more ways to ultimately win. That's what it's all about. And that all begins on August 4th, coming up in about a week and a half. So stay tuned and get started by creating or joining a Yahoo Fantasy Football League at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. That's yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. And let's make this fantasy season your best one yet.
And there we go. All right, boys. Jordan Mailata yesterday went top shelf, as far as I'm concerned. Now, Micah Parsons.
Bar down is what we call that.
Micah Parsons is obviously, he's got his own story going on right now with the Dallas Cowboys. So just to separate that for a second, and let's talk about just he is a phenomenal talent, an absolute phenomenal. I mean, J.J. Watt, in part of defending Micah Parsons, also talked about what a phenomenal pass rusher he is and all that, so we know that. So Jordan Mailata, now, you could file this under, well, what's he going to say? You know, it's his teammate. Well, let's separate that as well, because it's not just complimenting a teammate. It's going top shelf and then a little bit beyond. First off, gets asked the question, I believe it was by Jeff McClain of Inquirer.com, and he said, what can you tell us about Jalix Hunt and him, you know, maturing and getting better? and Jordan Mailata's face lit up like he was talking about, his favorite kid or something. And he goes, Jalix? Oh, Jalix. Oh, Jalix is absolutely amazing. And then said he's like Micah in a way. He goes out the way he can cut on a dime like that. The improvement he has shown. Man, Howie, give me a break between Josh Sweat last year and all of my career up until this one. And now Jalix Hunt, man, give me a break. Come on. I'm like, damn. Here's what I don't like about player comparisons. People never hear, when you make a comparison, they never hear the word like. All they hear is
the name.
Yeah. They hear the name and that's all they hear.
Right.
Not that they're like Micah Parsons, but they're Micah Parsons. So that's when everyone starts going, by week 6, you don't see Jalix Hunt with a sack and all of a sudden, Micah Parsons over here.
Right.
Gets thrown in their face. So
the expectation gets too lofty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then today,
this
Vic
was
Fangio,
great.
I
could listen to Vic Fangio all day.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. I could listen to Jalen Hurts and sit on the edge of my seat and enjoy it. I can listen to Vic Fangio with a beer and a bucket of popcorn and enjoy it 10 times more, Vic Fangio just goes, oh, wait, who do they compare him to? Micah Parsons, yeah. Did you all belly laugh when he said that?
No, I think he said, did you all laugh? And then he said,
right.
I belly laughed or something. It was
yes, you're right.
It was awesome. Yeah.
It was, thank you. Thank you, Vic Fangio.
Right.
Just threw the cold water all over it.
Reality check.
As he should. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Like I love the idea of a player. Hey, you're blowing up your own teammate in a good way. That's great. You're praising the teammate. That's fantastic. But Vic Fangio coming in there and just being like, everybody settle the hell down.
Right.
Let's let him continue to get better. And the other line I think he had, he was laughing at it. He used this word. I thought it was great. Reckless. A.J. Brown praised Drew Makuba. Jordan Mailata praised Jalix Hunt, comparing him to Micah Parsons, and he said that's reckless. And I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. As much as I love the comparison, and blowing up your team. No, I shouldn't say blowing up your teammate, but praising your teammate. It's very much on the reckless side. Vic Fangio for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. That jumped out at me this morning too, and the 12 minutes I spent listening to him talk was time well spent. I
remember the time you spent listening.
Very enjoyable. And there was another point where they were asking about Quinyon Mitchell, about basically him being the guy now because Slay is no longer here. And he's like, what does Slay have to do with it? And I just love the way he just put it right back on the reporter. I don't know who the guy was.
Martin Frank Delco Times.
It was a fair question. I know what he meant. I know what he meant.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But he goes, Quinyon's over here, and the football field's 53 yards wide. It was awesome.
It was such a great back and forth. And Martin does a great job. No slight to him. It is a legit question.
It is.
But if you're Fangio, the point you want to make is not to Martin Frank. It's not to us. It's not to the fans. It's to Quinyon Mitchell.
Right.
The point he's making is, he's over there. Right. Quinyon's on his side. He's going to be great. Well, it's like, but you don't have that other really good corner, and you might have a guy following. Are you open to even doing that kind of thing? And he's just like, Quinyon will be fine. He works hard. He's very talented.
I love his work ethic or something.
I love his work ethic. Yeah.
He's over there. I'm over here. I'm over here now.
I knew that was coming.
You knew that was coming.
Oh, my God.
I was over there. Now I'm over here. I'm over here. You hear?
It was great. It was great.
Yeah. The thing with Vic Fangio is it's just all delivered so matter of fact.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
So much what's that got to do with this?
Yeah.
And it's just so like, what is the point of that angle of the question to him? And he's like, I think he's one of those guys. I can't worry about Slay, anybody that was here ever. They don't mean anything to me now because they're not here now. So I think I don't think he gets offended by it. I think he plays his part. And he's polished in playing his persona, and he does it for a reason, because he's messaging players.
Absolutely,
he is absolutely messaging when he does that, and he's great at it. And I love hearing his just raw, kind of unfiltered. I'm not going to be here to pat the reporter on the back for, that's a good comparison, or I didn't think of that. You're not going to do that. That's not Vic Fangio. That's why I could watch him. He's a guy I could watch read the dictionary. He just interests me because of what I think is going on between his ears. He's a mad scientist.
His word to impact ratio is off the charts.
Yeah.
Like, he
brevity.
does not,
He's the king of brevity.
Yeah, he's very efficient, is what I'm trying to say. The other thing that he also got into, it was along those same lines, was going back to the Cooper DeJean scenario of playing safety. The matter of factness, Jason, that you mentioned there is exactly what he does, because he's like, well, hold on a second. What, like, his attitude, he didn't say this, but his attitude is, hold on a second, you want me to play Cooper DeJean as much as I did last year? Like, I'm going to play him more. Like, do you not understand what this guy is capable of? Do you not understand the speed in which this guy can think and react, the instincts in this guy? Like, I'm going to make him my safety day one. I'm going to put him with the number ones because I think he could do it. I'm also going to have him play in that nickel. I'm going to have him go play on the outside. He's going to do everything I know he can do because I'm looking for excuses to get him onto the football field, and that's easy to do because he's such a talented player. Look at the impact he had after week 4 last year. You go into the bye week, week 5, come out, defense has changed, team has changed a lot of ways, and one of the big changes was Cooper DeJean being your slot corner. So you know that matter-of-factness is also what is so appealing about Vic Fangio, because as a player, I'll say this as well. Think about the conversation that was had between him and Zach Bond at this time last year. Hey, when am I going to get to the outside? Oh, yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, they never did. You know why? Because it didn't matter anymore. He knew what he had.
I can put you in the middle and use you in a way that you've never been used before. And by the way, you're being all pro. The thing that we don't see as fans is the way these players interact in defensive meetings and in pre-scout and looking at tape. And it's obvious to me by what Vic Fangio says, and it's obvious how they want to use Cooper DeJean, that in those meetings, he identifies everything. He points out, hey, if you slide here, I got this cut. Like, he's playing other people's positions while he's playing his own. And that takes a very special bandwidth of being able to process information, to know where everybody else needs to be and where you need to be and how you would react to it. And they should react to, if you go here, I'm going. Like, he's just got one of those guys that has that bandwidth that can think the game from multiple angles defensively. And that's why Vic Fangio probably goes, I can move him all over the place. He'll be great anywhere.
It's also a message to Sidney Brown and Makuba, like it's saying, like, hey, this guy already has the instincts and the play recognition to play that spot, and I'll play him there. If you guys need to pick it up in both of those areas. That's what I took from what he said this morning too. Like, it was a message to the other two guys.
And part of it is that they know that he puts in the work studying, looking at tape of the other teams and studying his defensive roles and everybody else's along with it.
I think he's also just a big fan of the Exciting Mike's podcast. I think he just really likes the way those two work together. Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean. I just think they're fans. I think he's a big fan. I think that's what it comes.
He's going to be a huge fan favorite.
You think Vic Fangio is a favorite podcast? Do you think it's this one? I'd like to know. He's probably a true crime guy. Yeah, so would I.
Yeah.
I think he's a true crime guy.
True crime? Yeah.
Probably a true crime guy.
I could believe that. Yeah.
I want him to tell us.
I see him doing a food podcast. Like an Anthony Bourdain type thing. Vic Fangio does the boot.
He said if he told us his meatball recipe, he'd have to kill us. He said that in general. Not
he's from Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. He can probably cook a good meatball up there.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I like that Vic Fangio.
It's like Scranton with clams.
He's obviously a very, very interesting guy. The other thing that I want to take away from his defense yesterday, and this is amazing, and this goes part in what we heard from Howie Roseman and also Nick Sirianni, is that Jahad Campbell actually practiced yesterday.
Yeah. That's encouraging.
When we heard from Vic Fangio, from Nick Sirianni in minicamp, when can we expect to see Jahad Campbell? I think he said mid-August. And here we are the first day. He's there on his first day, looking in shape, looking lean, looking like he's ready to go out there and just absolutely wreak havoc as a defensive weapon, quote unquote. And in the meantime, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is getting more reps. Nakobe Dean, the only guy on the pup. I mean, I'm looking at this linebacking core, gentlemen, and you could feel pretty safe and secure with a guy like Zach Bond. I know there's some people that have a question to see whether or not he could do it again. I certainly think he can because he was just so great last year. To see if he even fell off a little bit from great to really good is still a big win for the Eagles. But I don't see that even happening. I see him staying as great. But then the guy that's going to play next to him while you're waiting for Nakobe Dean to get healthy, Jahad Campbell could certainly be out there being the guy. And then Jeremiah Trotter Jr. still continuing to take steps forward. And on Tuesday, as far as the linebacker position goes, we talked about Jeremiah Trotter Jr. was really built up by Vic Fangio when Nakobe Dean went down and Oren Burks ended up being the guy starting next to Zach Vaughn. This got me thinking yesterday at practice with as many reps as Jeremiah Trotter Jr. was getting. Well, maybe what he was saying about Jeremiah Trotter Jr. wasn't about being a starter last year, but being ready to go this year if called upon, knowing Nakobe Dean would be out for quite some time.
Yeah, I think that Jeremiah Trotter Jr. knows that there could be huge opportunity in front of him, and he's got to take it. And because you don't get this kind of opportunity very often where a guy in front of you presents it because he's injured. And no matter how you get the opportunity, you got to capitalize on it. This is a huge moment. 5th round pick. He wasn't, as highly touted as a guy like Jahad Campbell or anything like that. But he's now coming into year 2 or year 3. And he's a guy that can absolutely grab more of the coach's attention span by going out there and just being really good and giving you another option and just earn his way on there. And look, you got a lot of options there at linebacker now. Like this is a different Eagles group. We always, since like the late 80s and early 90s, linebacker was always an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, Marc Semino, obviously had Trot and he was great, but I mean, you got a situation now where if he can step in, I liked what we saw out of him late in last season in Jeremiah and limited snaps. So maybe he is a guy that can take on more and be successful.
But that was another moment during the Vic Fangio press conference where he was making some sort of reference about the training staff, basically under promising and over delivering was the
always
gist. That was pretty funny.
It makes the players look good when you do that.
Yeah.
It's like, he's out 6 to 8 weeks, then he comes back
and
in
he's
4.
back in 4, yeah.
And the player looks like Superman.
Right.
But that's all how they present it.
How did he word it, Mark?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're referencing. It was great. I mean, really, let's just say this. Vic Fangio had an all-timer today. He really did have an all-timer today. He was playing the hits, babe. He was playing the hits. But what he referenced was today, he goes, I learned that our training staff likes to undersell and over-deliver just to make themselves look good. And that got a big laugh from the media. And I'm like, he's right. He's totally right.
Sure he is.
It's like Jahad Campbell, mid-August at best. And now he's here at the start of camp. You kidding me? Nakobe Dean, I don't know. Could be a career ender. It wasn't. But he'll be back, obviously, at some point.
Week 1.
Week 1. Week 1 will be out there.
Yeah, the training staff goes, he's out 2 weeks. And then a guy's out 3 weeks. It's like, what are you guys doing in there?
That's the Phillies that do that.
Yeah.
The Phillies were notorious
it's bad impression management. Like, you got it. Like it's like the boss who comes to you and says, hey, I want to get you a raise. I want to get you $10,000. And then he delivers $2,500. If a boss comes in and says, I want to get you a raise of $2,500 and delivers $5,000, you're over the moon.
Right.
You got to know how to impression manage it.
The Phillies would put a pitcher on the 15-day DL and he's out 6 weeks. And you're like, where is this guy?
Where the Sixers, you get a hangnail and you're out for 6 months.
Yeah, but you get a hangnail and the Sixers are like, it's a broken foot. I'm pretty sure it's a hangnail. No, our doctors. We talked to our doctors and
we saw him holding his shoulder when he went off the court. Now he's got an ankle problem. What?
I like hockey. It's just lower body injury.
LBI.
As our old friend Al Morgani would say, what if his hands were in his pocket? Is that upper or lower body?
Leave it to Al.
As always. When it comes to Vic Fangio, we certainly covered a lot from his press conference today, and the kind of the way they're organizing all of this when it comes to the defensive side of the football. I have a question for you guys, and it came from my man Jeremy Von Skyver earlier today, and he's in our chat. By the way, Starberry sucked, says Jeremy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy. AJ Harris or Aj Harris, I guess. I think liked your impression earlier, Jason.
Howie. Was it the Howie one?
Yeah.
I think it was pretty spot on. Oh, sad day for Hulkamania. Yep. Pour one out there from Peter. Sad day for Hulkamania. So sad day for Thunderlips. We can't forget about Thunderlips.
Yeah, he was in Rocky.
Yeah, exactly. Rocky 3. But when we come back, I want to ask you guys a depth chart question about the defensive end position. We could go through the roster there and talk about who could be the guy that's going to come out and shine here. What else do we have here?
The Eagles theme song. The Youth Gone Wild song from Sebastian Bach and Skid Row. We are the Youth Gone Wild.
Wow.
That's a great tune.
There you go.
And that's not Johann. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Johann Sebastian Bach.
Yeah. That's where my references go in the music world. Anyway, when we come back, we'll break down those DNs in a second. This is Locked On Eagles Squad podcast on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. And now it's time to tell you about Monarch Money. You guys taking advantage of Monarch Money? You should be, because you ever wish managing your money was a little bit easier? Well, with Monarch Money, it can be. Whether you're growing your savings or you're planning your big purchase, Monarch Money puts you in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances. It's like having your own personal CFO in your pocket. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app, so much more. In fact, it's a financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. Let's say you're saving up for a new car. Let's say you're saving up to send the kids to college. You got young kids. You want to make sure you're doing that. Monarch Money can help you do that. Or let's say that you just moved in with your significant other. You're combining finances. You're getting married, whatever the case might be. Monarch Money makes it so much easier and, in fact, stress-free. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL. That's promo code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com. And you could save 50% off your first year. Once again, take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Promo code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year at monarchmoney.com. Let's look at it like this, gentlemen. I went into last year not having high expectations for the Philadelphia Eagles when it came to the defensive line. I felt like it's the thinnest the defensive line had ever been, and I'm including the edge rushers in that scenario. Now, you still had Josh Sweat. You still had Brandon Graham. You didn't know what you were getting from Nolan Smith. I didn't have high expectations. You didn't know what you were getting from the rookie and Jalen Hurts if he'd even be healthy enough to play, all this. And now I look at it this year, and I feel like they're pretty stacked when it comes to the edge rush. Nolan Smith, gentlemen, broke out last year on two separate occasions. One, the obvious after the bye week, and the other right after Brandon Graham went down. He just kept elevating his play as the year went on. Jalen Hurts really did show you flashes throughout last year, and I'm not going to go Micah Parsons like Jordan Mailata, but I am going to say I got some pretty good expectations for him. I think this could be, an 8-sack year for Jalen Hurts, which I think is good for a big step forward for a second-year player. But then you also look at Azeez Ojulari, you look at Josh Uche coming in here, you look at how they might deploy Jihad Campbell as either a guy as a linebacker playing next to Zach Bond or as a guy more in an Hassan Reddick role to attack the quarterback. I look at a number of these guys defensively that could be that edge rusher for the Eagles, and I think they're pretty damn good. And Jalen Carter being in the middle of that defensive line kind of helps everybody else be graded on a curve to success. I got to say, I feel actually a lot better, especially about just the edge rusher position, Harry, than I did even going into last year with the young talent that they have at the edge rusher spot.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from Ojulari or Uche. To me, I'm not really expecting a heck of a lot from Uche personally, but maybe I'll be surprised. But we talked about Vic Fangio. The name came up of Mo Ajomo.
Sure, yeah.
And you could tell he likes him and is expecting big things from him at the defensive end position. So that was good because he won't give any praise just to give praise. I mean, it's earned. So that stood out to me. And the fact that Jalen Carter, but Jordan Davis being, in such great shape, that was interesting too, because he said, well, the last 7 or 8 games of last year, he had gotten into this kind of shape too and played a little bit better. But he kind of poo-pooed the whole idea that this guy is arriving in camp in this amazing shape. That's the way I sort of took it. Well, he was like that late last year too.
Okay.
Hint, hint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think
that's
sort of like, hey, Jordan Davis, maybe we won't see a new Jordan Davis is the way I sort of took that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. The other part of it is also is him being in better shape an attempt to get more than 37% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I mean, that might sound obvious. Like, of course you want him to play more, but you're also talking about changing a lot of the things that he does outside his weight. Maybe his weight allows him to do this. Like, are they looking at him other than just a run stuffer? Because as we talked about before, they get on 3rd and long. They're not having Jordan Davis out there on the football field. So is this all an attempt to kind of change him into also somebody that could get after the quarterback a little bit more from a defensive tackle position.
But if you're Jordan Davis and his agent in the last year of a contract, you're like, the more you can stay on the field, aka lose weight, and you can you can be out there on 3rd and long, you get paid more.
Yeah, get the sexy numbers, man. Look sexy, get the sexy numbers.
Snaps.
Right.
Percentage of snaps.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know if it's going to be better than last year or not. I think we're going to have to see that develop. I feel good about the tools, but I feel great about the DC and the position he's going to put him in. And you mentioned it. A big guy in the middle creates so much havoc that everybody that plays around him
benefits.
Yeah, they got to look at it and go, oh, man, have I got an opportunity, because this big fella in here is going to take up so much attention that it's going to allow me to be a playmaker. So as long as you got him and he's healthy and he's ready to go and he's doing what he does, I think everybody around him looks at it like, hey, blood in the water.
How many sacks did Smith end up with last year, Mark? You remember off the top of your head? Because I don't.
Smith, I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say
basically getting one a game there for a long stretch. I mean, he was
impacting every game.
Yeah.
Yeah, really I know. What's his name? Josh Sweat was the team leader. Unfortunately, you never want to see that guy leave. But I can tell you right now,
he had
6.5 for Nolan Smith.
I felt like more than that.
Okay, I think he will have more. I think he'll have somewhere around 8 or 9 this year. And they also signed some guy from Cleveland, like Ogbo is his first name. I can't pronounce his last name.
Neither can I.
But he's a guy, if he can stick, he was getting like 4 or 5 sacks with Cleveland, if I recall. He's a veteran player.
All right, including the postseason last year, Nolan Smith had 10.5 sacks.
Okay, including the postseason.
Okay, that's why it felt like it was more.
Okay.
Yeah, because he just was great in the playoffs, obviously.
But regular season was 6.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
6.5, yeah, exactly. Josh Sweat was 8. He led the pack in that regard. And how about this? He had 2 or 2.5 sacks in the Super Bowl, whatever it was. He had 2.5 sacks in the postseason. So he had 10.5 sacks throughout the year. And Nolan Smith, I'm sure, wasn't getting the same snap count as Josh Sweat earlier in the season, especially.
Right.
And that's also getting more snaps after Brandon Graham went down. So you got to take that in consideration, too, when you're trying to come up with the reason why you saw so much more production from Nolan Smith as the time went down. And also prorate, essentially, what Josh Sweat did what prorate what Nolan Smith did versus what Josh Sweat did as the season went on.
And then Milton Williams' snaps are going to be taken up by committee. We had talked about that a couple of weeks ago on the show. Fangio echoed that in the press conference today. I guess it's committee unless one guy emerges.
If somebody emerges, he gets it. If not, then you go by committee. Real quick, I want to read this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to read this real quick. Well, on that note, what if it was Jordan Davis? Like, what if Jordan Davis is the guy? Like, what if
the agent hoped so?
You talking about you mentioned it earlier, Harry. It's a contract year. They picked up his rookie extension, the bare minimum, essentially, for a prove it type of situation. Like we've talked about Dallas Goedert being a prove it year at a $4 million discount, $10 million guaranteed though. We talked about him being in a contract year on the offensive side of things. We're also talking about now Jordan Davis also being in a contract year. So you want to stay out there on the football field as much as Jalen Carter. Maybe he's the guy that takes over for Milton Williams. Maybe it is by committee, but the guy that has the opportunity here to take that big step forward is Jordan Davis.
No doubt.
He may be the first one to get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dallas Goedert, that's a great segue. I just see this quote coming out of Eagles practice today about Jalen Hurts playing a role in Goedert coming back. And here's what Goedert said. Jalen, he reached out to me a few times. We talked. I got a lot of respect for Jalen. Obviously, I want to play with him throughout my entire career. We'll see where it goes. But when you got a guy like that, that's a good person. He texted me. He called me. We stayed in touch. And that meant a lot to me. And that made it even easier to try and work something out.
That's awesome.
That's great to see. Yeah, I love seeing that. Keep the band together.
Yeah. Jalen's good word saved $4 million.
It did. I don't think that's a stretch to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why am I going to go somewhere else when I got it really good here? A lot of times people go, "Oh, the grass is greener," and sometimes it is.
The money might be greener.
Yeah. But the fulfillment of success is, That's a toxic. I mean, that's an addictive toxin.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts oozes it.
Greener, crisper, fresher.
Eagle greener.
Exactly. All right. When we come back, you mentioned lunchboxes. I have to ask this question. It's a quick blink of a break. Be back right back after this. I'll take a couple of your comments. Locked On Eagle Squad show. Lunchboxes, gentlemen. What lunchbox did you take to school? Were you a brown paper bag guy, Jason, or were you a lunchbox guy? What was your deal? Where did you buy your lunch?
Well, when I was real little, it was lunchboxes. And I remember going from the metal lunchbox to the plastic lunchboxes. That was that technology came along when I was in elementary school. And I remember my first plastic one. It was red, and it was a Star Wars lunchbox. I wish I still had it in mint condition, in Gametime condition. Yeah. It'd be worth a lot of money today.
Right.
As a collectible.
I never saw Star Wars.
Oh.
Still haven't.
Jeez.
I was like 10, I think, when it came out. 10
the
or
original
11.
3 you haven't seen?
Never.
Why have you never seen that?
I don't know. No interest.
I talked to Dan Vladar, the new Flyers goalie, because the whole thing is Darth Vladar. Yeah. And I said, are you going to embrace that and put a Darth Vader theme on your mask? He goes, I've never seen it. And I was outraged. But he's 27, Harry.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not a sci-fi guy. Not a sci-fi.
It's not sci-fi.
Guy. Well, whatever.
There are things that exceed. Like, you know how, like,
pop beyond.
Music. You know how, like, anything can be pop music? There's certain things that just enter into the. Yeah, it just enters it, like it transcends what its genre is into popular culture. Like, that's what I think of Star Wars. Because I'm not a sci-fi guy either, my friend.
Me neither. Like, I hate Star Trek and stuff like that. Star Wars, I absolutely love.
Did you, Harry? Did you have like a gambling app or a golf lunch pail? What did you have?
No, I was not into golf until
you had the bookie tickets in the lunchbox
later in life.
Ticket,
but with handcuffs to the handle of it.
I can't remember what my lunchbox was until I went to like the one with the thermos, like a thermos brand.
Sure, that was a big deal.
That you'd bring to like the work site, the job site kind of thing. That's what I had in like high school, and then I went paper bag.
Paper bag was
brown
solid.
paper bag.
Brown paper bag. Yeah.
I went to that eventually, the paper bag, but then I always preferred to buy lunch at school. I wasn't a I liked the school.
You're an aristocrat.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sophisticated. I like the lunch ladies.
Were you in the a la carte line, or were you in just the regular hot lunch line?
It depends on what the day was, Harry. Frankly, every Friday was pizza day. It was like an Elio's.
Okay.
But I didn't like pizza as a little kid, and then eventually I obviously did. But they had, when I was in high school, they had like a baked potato bar in our lunchroom.
Get a little bacon, a little sour cream.
You go to high school and a Wendy's?
Load it with cheese. Like disgusting. It was basically a bowl of cheese with a baked potato.
With a baked potato stuck in it.
Yeah. And I would go bacon bits and a little sour cream. Not a chivesman.
Not a chivesman?
Yeah. No? Not a chivesman. But I would get that literally every day. I'd get a baked potato.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. Well, I had to get carb load because I was, still playing sports at that time. You had to every Friday I would eat because I had like 3 hockey games every weekend. You had to carb load on Friday for the weekend. So I would eat a pound of Yankees every Friday night for dinner, an entire pound, the whole bag.
Wow.
With some good marinara, like a nice ragu out of the jar, which would drive Mikey Miss crazy.
That's a Medigan.
Yeah, you Medigan.
You Medigan.
I was going to say marinara and ragu are not the same thing, but you're talking about the brand.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And I got a 2-pound bag up in the freezer right now. I've turned my youngest daughter onto the gnocchi.
Oh, the gnocchi's the best.
They're great.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
They're substantial.
Is that a potato pasta?
Yeah.
Mostly, they could also be the ricotta too.
Yeah, it could be with cheese too.
Yeah, but the potatoes are the standard. They're definitely the standard. That's fascinating. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Spaceballs. Yeah, Spaceballs. I liked Spaceballs.
Rick Moranis?
Yeah, that was great.
Somebody referenced that. Thank you, Jeremy. Spaceballs. Yes, there you go.
Great.
Spaceballs. Merchandising.
Top 3 Rick Moranis movies. You got to go. Ghostbusters is in there.
Definitely.
Spaceballs. And the greatest Rick Moranis movie of all time is Strange Brew.
Oh.
With Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas. Take off your hoser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta see that one. I haven't seen that one yet.
I'd like to buy 3 Elsinore beers. That movie was
I
fantastic.
gotta tell you guys this. I gotta tell you guys this story real quick. I got a random Instagram message some years ago from somebody, and they just said, "Do you have?" I won't use my cousin's real name, but he was like, "Do you have a brother named Sam?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Well, I have a Sam Farzetta's lunchbox in my house. We just moved into this house. I'm originally from Ambler." And we found this lunchbox with the last name Farzetta written in, Sam Farzetta on the lunchbox. And I went, "Oh, that's my cousin." And he goes, "It's a Hardy Boys lunchbox." Now,
Hardy
my cousin hasn't lived in this house for probably 30 years.
Wow.
Okay. So he goes, if he wants it back, I'm happy to give it to him. It was a tin. It was a metal, lunchbox. That kind of
I
thing.
can see it in my mind's eye.
Yeah.
Right. And I text my cousin. I go, "Hey man, this guy just hit me up. I know you haven't lived in that house in forever, but do you want the lunchbox back?" And he goes, "Yeah, wow." Like it was like somebody brought something up to you hadn't thought about since you were 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Wow, the Hardy Boys lunchbox, that whole thing." And I tried to set it up for them to exchange it, and it never went through. But the guy just went radio silent. He didn't get back to me about it. So I was like, "Well, it was real." But he said they were remodeling the house and found it. There you go.
Wow.
There it is.
Wow, Jason, good work out of you.
Absolutely.
Now,
Beautiful.
Do you think he looked it up on eBay and saw people were getting like $40 for it and decided
That's
to
a good
say,
point.
screw this, I'm going to sell it?
Yeah, there's the thermos.
Oh, there's the
inside.
thermos.
Yeah, you
Oh,
still
look
got
at that.
plenty of room in there for a sandwich. Maybe
Yeah.
a
What
little,
is that?
a bag
What
of
is that,
chips.
instructions? Is it instructions on how to eat a lunch? What is that?
That might be a certificate of authenticity.
Oh, you're
but
right.
it's an officially sanctioned one. Oh no!
Oh, maybe it's a mystery.
Personalize your lunch kit. It says, and you can put stickers on it as well.
I might need the Hardy Boys to find the lunchbox. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Ah,
By the way, I
love
won't dodge the question. I had a Thundercats lunchbox back.
What is Thundercats?
it. That's a
Oh, dude.
cartoon.
Yeah, Thundercats. Ho, sort of omen. Oh, Lion-O. That guy? No, nothing.
Jeremy said he was a Masters of the Universe guy, the He-Man.
Well,
That was pretty
He-Man.
solid.
I remember those too.
Wow.
There we go.
He had
What do you think Jalen
Transformers
Hurts-
eventually came along, and yeah.
Jalen Hurts. What kind of lunchbox?
Oh.
Power Rangers.
No, he's got like a
He don't-
Michael Jordan lunchbox. I think. The Power Rangers wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
What about Teletubbies? Maybe a Teletubby one?
Probably a big Teletubby guy. Yeah.
I hated when my son watched the Teletubby. That's the dialogue of the show. It'll
Yeah.
drive you nuts.
That has to be a grooming situation.
Oh,
that
horrible.
Teletubbies.
Horrible.
There's something going on there. Seriously.
On that note, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan
Ozzy.
and
I'm
Ozzy.
still gutted.
I know, man,
I'm gonna be
I'm
listening
sorry.
to Ozzy all day.
May they rest in peace. May they rest in peace.
Jeez. 2 weeks.
Fellas,
after-
another fun-filled Eagle Squad podcast. Louis DiBiase, remember him? He's
Yeah.
going to be with us next week. So
He
make sure
said
you
he's
guys
Are
gonna
you
be
check that out.
sure?
back.
Are
He
you
said
sure about that?
He said
He's
he's going to be back.
I have the text message. His
Yeah.
word is his bond. His
Yeah.
word is his bond.
Yeah, he
I
also
told
said
him.
I can do the show on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon.
I
which is
told
when
him
we
keep the
do
main
the
thing
show.
the main thing. That's what I should say to him. You should keep the main thing, bro.
Right.
But in all seriousness, make sure you guys are checking out Louis DiBiase every day.
Every day.
Excuse me, on Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing and all that stuff. Make sure you guys like and subscribe as well during the season for Jason and Harry, giving you your fine post-cast content right here on Locked On
I think
Eagles.
there might be an
YouTube
adjustment to
Yeah,
that show.
maybe adjusting that from what I'm told, but more
yeah.
details on it. As they say in radio parlance, stay tuned for more details.
Yeah. Or details.
channel. The
Oh, yeah,
tails.
Tom Bigby.
Tom
would say
Bigby
that.
would say it. Yeah.
Yeah. See store for details.
For details.
Tell Rob I need to see him. Walter.
Rob Cherry.
Yeah. Rob, why did you lead off that update with the Sixers?
All right.
All right,
you
this
done-
is just
are
the
you
first
done?
hour of the podcast. No, we're going to keep going.
I think
No,
we're
Jason
officially
Martinez,
done with the podcast. What is the
Harry
podcast,
Mays.
Harry?
I'm Marc Farzetta. Great to catch up with you guys as per usual. Also, check me out tomorrow with Keith Pompey for your Locked On 76ers daily
Keith Pompey.
podcast. We cover it all, ladies and gentlemen. This is Locked On Eagle Squad show. We'll be back with you guys on Tuesday next week. See you guys then. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Keith Pump.